per Jeremy Fowler of ESPN, he says that the Commanders are not trading wide receiver Terry McLaurin. Cooler heads should prevail. Washington wants Terry McLaurin there. They're not trading McLaurin. That was made clear to me from a source of the team, Fowler said this morning on at Sports Center. So Jeremy Fowler was on Sports Center, and he basically said, you guys need to cool down. There's no trade happening. And I'm not making this video because I thought there was going to be a trade. I know that there's not going to be a trade, but I just want to cool some of you guys down. Some of you are worried. So with that, let's just go ahead and like the video. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. On the road to 2,000, I cannot do it without you. Hit that notification bell as well. All that would be greatly appreciated. Now let's go ahead and get into the news today. So Jeremy Fowler of ESPN basically said that they are not trading Terry McLaurin. And again, I didn't think they were going to trade Terry McLaurin. You should not think that either. But I wanted to confirm to you guys that this is not a trade. Jeremy Fowler is plugged in, and I'm going to trust him when he says, you know, they've said they want Terry McLaurin. They're not going to trade him. You go back a few months ago, Adam Peters says, we want to make Terry a Commander for a long time. But if you look at the business side of Adam Peters, he's a guy that takes his time to get things done, and he doesn't just throw out money. If this was the past regime with Dan Snyder, Terry's deal would already be done. It would be 3-year, $36 million annually deal. But Adam Peters doesn't just hand out money. He doesn't just give out money. And I respect that. We finally have a good GM, so let's trust him in what he's going to do. At least I knew from the jump he was not getting traded. I hadn't talked about it once on this channel. This is the first time I'm talking about a Terry McLaurin trade, which is the right thing. So Jeremy Fowler says, cooler heads should prevail. Washington wants McLaurin there. They're not trading Terry McLaurin. That was made clear to me from a source. So maybe that's Terry McLaurin's agent. Maybe that's, you know, someone from the Commanders. I don't know. But they're not trading Terry McLaurin, as I've said multiple times, as I continue to think about this. Why would you trade Terry McLaurin? Why would you trade him? It does not make any sense at all to trade Terry McLaurin. You add Deebo Samuel for him to be the wide receiver 1, for you to trade Terry, it doesn't make any sense. They're not going to trade Terry McLaurin. They understand the value that he brings. They're at a standstill in the contract, though, because it's harder than you think. It's business. It's just brutally honest business. This is being, under the publicity that it deserves to be, because these things are hard, and I think people should realize that. Like, this business is brutal. It's bad, and not every player is going to be, feel respected by getting the money, getting high money, right? You have to work things out. So I've said this all along. I think Terry McLaurin should be getting $32 million annually, right? Because that is the same as DK Metcalf, but it's less than guys like CeeDee Lamb. It's less than Justin Jefferson. It's less than Jamar Chase. Because Terry McLaurin is simply not on that level. But I think Terry McLaurin is probably a top 8-7 receiver in this league. So it was good to hear from Jeremy Fowler this morning that they're not trading Terry McLaurin. He's plugged in. He understands the drill. He understands that they're not going to trade him. They never were going to trade him. If you thought they were going to trade Terry McLaurin, you're crazy. And I know you hear the rumors of, teams apparently being interested in Terry McLaurin. Why wouldn't they be interested? It's Terry McLaurin. So I just think that this confirms that he was not going anywhere. He's never going to go anywhere. They simply need to work out a contract, and deadline spur action. Well, guess what? We have a major deadline this Tuesday. Training camp. Deadline spur action. They're going to get a deal done, folks. I still think it's going to get done. Certainly Tuesday's press conference wasn't what we wanted to hear. We didn't want to hear Terry McLaurin was frustrated. We didn't want to hear he was disappointed. We didn't want to hear that he didn't feel appreciated. But it just simply confirmed how brutal this business is. And that guys like B. Mitch said that, like JP Finley was pretty much freaking out on his show. And B. Mitch was like, I've done this for 30 years, man. I understand the drill. He's not going anywhere. I'm not worried at all. And JP Finley was sitting there like, ugh, they're not at the end of the road, but they're close. And it was a wake-up call Tuesday, basically, for all of us. But it's going to get done, folks. I don't know if it's going to be what Terry wants, but it's going to get done, because I can't sit here and say it's not going to be what Adam Peters wants, because Adam Peters is going to do what he wants. He does not give in. He never gives in to anything. You saw it with Dante Fowler. He did not pay Dante Fowler. He's like, you can go find someone else. We'll get you a replacement. For Jeremy Chin, we'll get you a replacement. I'm not paying you what you think you should be paid. So he doesn't give in whatsoever. So he's not going to do it with the Terry McLaurin situation, but this is business. You have to give it time. I simply believe that they're in the fourth quarter. They're in the red zone right now trying to get this deal done before training camp. Yes, we heard that they hadn't talked for a month, and you don't want to hear that, but that's the reality of it. Everybody goes on vacation. That's the reality of it, because you have the time. This is the one time where you can go on vacation. You know, Dan Quinn was in Hawaii. Adam Peters was probably at a really nice place as well. And they're not going to be working the phones. They're not going to try to get a deal done from vacation, because we got to understand that these guys are people too, and they have lives, and this is their one time for a vacation with all the money that they have, so they're going to use it wisely. And they're not going to try to get a deal done while they're on vacation. So that's why they didn't talk for a month, just to clear that up. And these guys can go on vacation for a month because they're rich, right? Because they worked hard for it. So they can go on vacation for a month. So they didn't talk for a month straight. It's understandable. But Terry McLaurin is really frustrated. We got reports yesterday that Terry McLaurin, was liking a tweet that said absolutely disrespectful about something about his marriage picture not being included in a Commanders post that they made. But I just think that's all stupid. I know this deal's going to get done. I'm not worried. Get me to the day before training camp, and then I might be a little bit more worried, but I'm not worried, man. Even if we get to training camp and he's, and they're not in pads yet. Like, once they get in pads, then if Terry McLaurin's not signed, then I'm worried. But if they're not in pads and we're in training camp, I'm still not that worried, right? I know they're going to get this done. Terry McLaurin will be playing for this football team with a new contract that he likes, that the team likes soon. There's a really hard part of his case that not a lot of people seem to understand. People don't understand that he's 30, and guys that are getting paid like Garrett Wilson, he's 24. Right? His deal is way easier. Terry McLaurin's 30. It's going to be hard to work it out. It's going to be hard to try to find the right contract for him, because you don't know if he's going to slow down. But Terry McLaurin shows no sign that he is going to slow down. I think the hardest part for me watching Terry McLaurin's press conference, or not really presser, but he spoke to the media last Tuesday, as I had talked about. I think the hardest part for me watching that was, like, Terry McLaurin said, I'm 208 pounds. I'm ready to go. Like, I'm in perfect shape. I just want to be on the field. I just miss my teammates. I just want to be there for them. That was the hardest part for me watching that, but man, they're going to get it done. It's just taking a little bit longer than usual. Adam Peters likes to work things out. We cried out for a GM for the past 20 years, for a real GM. We cried out for one. And now we get one. Now you're going to leave him because he simply hasn't given a player a contract yet. Just wait for him to get it done and we'll all be happy. But I just liked Jeremy Fowler this morning confirming that Terry McLaurin's not going anywhere. Jeremy Fowler's plugged in. I like Jeremy Fowler. He really reports on the Commanders really well. He's not going anywhere. They're not trading McLaurin. They have no intentions of trading McLaurin. If this, in 2 months, if this is a still not done and they're not in a very good place, then you could expect a trade, something like that. But right now, it's only July 19th. So this is going to take its time, and I believe maybe something will get done Monday. I know that they're going to get this contract done pretty soon, and as we all hope, because this is really going to be bad if they don't get it done. But again, I believe they're going to get it done. They're not looking to trade him. They're just trying to work with his agent to get this deal done. They're working the phones, man, but they're not going to trade him. It's what an agent does, and it's what people in this business do. They work the phones. They're trying to get this done because deadlines spur action. They're going to have to get this done probably before training camp if they want to be, if they don't want any distractions. They want to go focus on a Super Bowl this year, as they should. So, Jeremy Fowler confirms that Terry McLaurin is not getting traded. You guys let me know your thoughts down below. I think this is very good news. I think this just confirms that if you are in the right state of mind, if you're a level head, if you're thinking like a normal fan, this confirms that, okay, I was right. They're not going to trade Terry McLaurin. let's just wait for this deal to get done, man. If he holds out a training camp some, he holds out. And that's not the NFL season, so does it really matter that much? We've seen guys like Jamar Chase last year hold out a training camp. CeeDee Lamb, hold out a training camp. They've done it before. This is business. And the reason we haven't seen Terry McLaurin hold out a training camp is because we haven't had a real GM while Terry McLaurin's here. We had one contract situation in 2022. It got done before training camp because Ron Rivera just said, we're going to pay him the money. I don't care. We have a real GM trying to pay real money, trying to look ahead to the future. We're going to have to pay Jaden $75 million in the future. We might have to save room for that and not give Terry McLaurin $35 million annually because I don't want to be paying him that much if he's going to be slowed down at age 33. I don't want to be paying him $35 million a year while we're going to have to pay Jaden and give him a contract extension in 2 years from now because that's when he's eligible. So you have to think about the future. You have to ask yourself the tough questions. And we were asking the question, will Terry McLaurin get traded this whole time? But that question has been answered and it's shut down by Jeremy Fowler. Terry McLaurin will not be traded. So this is the first step to getting this deal done, kind of. Because us as fans, we can cool down, take a deep breath. We know that guy is not going anywhere. We know that we're good. He's not going to get traded. If he doesn't get a contract signed in the next few days or in the next few months, Terry McLaurin can still play under his current contract. He's still under contract. It's not like he can just go somewhere. He's playing for $23 million a year right now. He can't just go somewhere. He can't just walk. He's not a free agent, for those of you that don't understand. This deal will be done in appropriate time, and both sides will be happy, and it's going to be all flowers and roses. But right now, it's not roses. Right now, it's not. They're trying to negotiate a contract with Terry McLaurin. So this confirms what we thought. He's not getting traded. He's not going anywhere. This is good news for us. All right, that's going to do it for me. Again, you let me know your thoughts down below. Hail to the Washington Commanders. As always, Terry McLaurin's not going anywhere as we thought. Again, this just confirms everything. That's going to do it for me. Peace.